Okay. First of all, I am passionate about my work.
Mm-hmm.
I love what I do. I have steady source of motivation that drives me every day to do my best.
Okay.
Um, I'm ambitious and I'm driven.
Okay. That's
I
fantastic.
constantly set challenges for myself and then strive to achieve them as much as I can.
Add some personal
Um,
aspects, like add some
Excuse
personal
me,
aspects.
can you repeat that?
I'm saying add some personal aspects. So the thing is, make this more. So I need to know about you. Like what you're giving me is too. It's too metallic. Does that make sense? In other words, so you it's fine, but you gotta there's no essence of you understand. Keep going, but try and add that in. But keep going. Tell me what you got more.
Okay. Um, okay. Because okay, before I continue, when I answer this question, is it based on me wanting to join a radio station as a person who already has experience, or as a person
No,
that's
as
gonna
you
start
no, as you are now. You understand?
as I
Like
am now?
yeah, that's it. Like what you're doing now. Um, like what you're busy talking about. It's cool.
Mm,
I just want to see whether you're going to. You understand? The idea is you have to sell yourself, but
mm,
remember, you must always imagine this scenario. Like let's say if you are diligent at work, like you're a hard worker. Let's say that there's another 20 people outside, let's say the office that now they're going to step and do the interview. Let's say 12 of them are also hard workers. So it's still you and another 12 people. Let's say now you add to that and say, well, you know what, you've had 5 years of experience. I'm not too sure. You understand? And you
mm.
send 7 to 10 people also have 5, maybe more years experience. You understand? You must start imagining how you're going to be the one to be selected. Yes, like you got a job right now. You had to be the one out of the lot. What got you the job? Do you understand? You must think about that, and don't sell yourself short. Don't oversell yourself as well. Like however this one worked, I'm saying wherever you got this job right now, like you got there because you were the best choice. You understand? So just keep that in mind, and don't and again try to stand out, because they will say, look, like in your whatever you said in you're in video production, and you're in so the visual aspect of media. You understand that they wanted to know that you had the skill set, obviously, and some proof of it, I'm sure. But they also needed to know that you had some other soft skill aspects and experience, I'm saying to you, and some kind of presence, so they could work with you. You understand? And also that what would make a great storyteller, filmmaker, TV, like, you know what I'm saying to you. So
Okay.
continue. Yeah,
Or
just food for
okay.
thought. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think that now for this question, I won't get it right now because of from listening to what you are saying. I believe that in order for me to stand out from the other people, the way I'm gonna be saying or talking about myself, they won't really um look at or listen to what I have to say, but on how I'll be saying it.
Mm.
Because while I'm there, and if it's for a radio station, they're gonna look at how confident I am,
Yes.
how well spoken am I, how do I communicate and answer question,
Mm.
as well as body composture or body language. That's what they're gonna be looking at in order for me to stand out from them,
And
from the other people that are gonna be applying for the same position.
then don't forget, it's the one thing that the other 12 do not have, your personality. Does that make sense?
Yes,
So
yes. Hence, I'm saying that
yeah.
immediately when I say I am funny and I'm compassionate, and then I have empathy. Um, I think other people will say the same thing, but in order for me to catch their eye, they're gonna be looking at me.
Yes.
How do I say those things? How do I communicate with them? How do I answer questions? I think those are the elements that are gonna make me stand out
That's
rather
a
than saying
yeah.
this, answering these kind of questions.
The best interview again. I keep talking about Tux, but it was such a. It was Rian was so great at this particular craft. When we came into the interview, like, and we would tell each other obviously, like afterwards, oh, like what was your interview like, whatever. I don't know. Once we got into the station, I'm saying. So the thing is that I remember. So Joe Man would told me this one where he said, now he is funny, and then Rian said to him, so make me laugh, and then you get stuck. But the thing is that like like Rian said, here's a box of matches, make me laugh. It wasn't just tell me a joke. It wasn't you need to back it up. Does it make sense? Because the thing is, you will get station managers that are on point. Do you understand? Like Rian was on point, and he was like, if you want to say it, prove it. Do you understand? So the thing is like I'll tell you, when I went first for my first interview, I didn't get in because everything of mine was planned and prepped. I'm an academic. Like I researched the station, I researched radio, I had everything, and I was rejected immediately. Now, the thing is, and then I was, because I'm persistent, right? And I don't like failure. Just generally, I don't deal well with it. I went again, and then the thing is, but this time around, hey, like because he said to when I walked in and said to me, "Oh, you're back," like to make sure to see whether I was intimidated. One, you understand, and immediately they get into your mind because they want to see what you've said on that application form or in your letter of application, whatever it is, like whether you can back it up. My interview was something like 3 minutes the second time around, and I got the job. Do you understand? Because I was all me, baby. Do you understand? But I also like I had. I mean, I had this. I had the raw talent. Do you understand? The skill set was there to be built. I'm saying to you, that's how proper radio interviews go. Is where they will because they want. That's it. This whole lesson has been personality. So what am I going to sell here? If you can't sell yourself in a manner that I can envision, this money, this what is it, cash cow, what do I want you for? Do you understand? Go on to the next one, otherwise we're not going to finish up. Continue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, the first one, I think I won't get it right now because this is the first
Okay.
time that I'm even doing radio.
Yes.
So for you, who's been doing it
Mhm.
before you even went for that interview, already you had an idea or some sort of insight, some sort of information or education regarding that. So already knew how
No, I
you were
didn't
gonna
actually.
answer that question
No, no,
there.
no, no. I didn't. I told you I was studying a BSc computer science. I had the
Mm,
only like I had the thing is I came in knowing, like I'm saying to you, what you have said is correct, but is it great? Do you understand? That's the only thing. Don't worry, you didn't get it wrong. Like, don't be like that. Like I was saying to you, you don't. No one knows enough about radio until you're there. Does that make sense? I can even give you
yes,
all
it
the
does.
training you want. You understand? And you the job. I know it sounds terrible, but it's true, as you know. You understand? So cool. Like I say, don't break yourself down, even if it's in a like an indirect way. Go ahead with the other one. You did fine.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the second one, name five skills. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
first one as a professional broadcaster,
Mm-hmm.
you need to be excellent with communication or
Mm-hmm.
presentation skills. The
Good.
way you're
Yes.
gonna present your topic to the listeners, you must have a skill for that.
Mm-hmm.
You must have a broader range of interests,
Indeed. Yes. You must be
and
interested in the
and
world around. Yes.
and then also you must have a clear voice. Your voice must be clear.
It
Um,
must be, yeah, it must be a trained voice. You will get the training, but you need to your voice. Do you understand that people you don't actually notice people's voices until they have presence? Does that make sense? So voice is for a voice actor. Voice in radio is about like presence. Does that make sense? So when you know what you're talking about, you are like all you, 100% you, and you are selling this. Do you understand? Your voice starts to sound different. You understand? It doesn't sound squeaky, like because if it is squeaky, it's part of you who you are. You understand? But it's gonna have power now. You're with me. So a clear voice, I'm saying, in other words, like for example, articulation, diction, and vocab is something we all need to constantly work on because you can see the moment you stop saying things, reading things, having conversations, your conversation starts to your ability, the richness of it starts to deprecate. So just as a sidebar, continue. Tell me another two.
okay, the other two, you must have confidence,
Mm, yeah.
and then the other one, you must have the ability to generate original ideas.
Mm, okay. So again, what you have said there is also what you should have, and I want you to think what you do have as well, what you actually do have. So, for example, you are in what from what you just said earlier, you are in video production, so you have production skills. Do you understand? You are
Yes.
a good. You understand storytelling. You understand, like you know what I'm saying to you. So you also like you said, there's soft skills, confidence. All right, you're confident in the work that you do. You're also quite confident and comfortable with yourself. Do you understand? And you like being around people. Like people like being around you, for example. Do you understand? You can range soft and hard skills. Okay, let's do a faster run just with Bash and Cloney, ne? So Bash, go ahead.
Okay.
Cool.
Uh, okay. So for the first one, tell us about yourself. I work as a market research administrator, which exposes me to different people. Therefore, I'd love to believe that over the years, I have been able to shape my people skills. I enjoy engaging with people. If my social battery is full, because most of the time I'm at my place enjoying a good series of podcasts. I'm
Mhm.
passionate about beauty and the protection of young girls. I believe in taking opportunities as they come, no matter how fearful you are. Go where
Very,
you fear the most because that is where your greatest growth will come from. I am funny. I'm a good listener. I'm extrinsically motivated, yet self-driven and quite optimistic. You can count on me to deliver anything because I am self-driven, as I said, although external motivation does play a role for me. I put my heart to what I am involved in, and my passion exudes in my incredible delivery, and I am an amazing writer and orator.
very good. I'm saying to you very good because you're not telling a story about yourself. Do you understand? There are that, like I say, like I remember you, like when you do say you're funny, like you know, uh, like you have a sense of humor. If you're not a comedian, then you have a sense of humor. Does that make sense? All right. Like,
Mhm.
because otherwise, I'm going to ask you again. Give me a punchline. Like, tell me a joke. Right? I'm not trying to emulate Rian. I'm saying honestly,
Yeah, I
like
get you.
without that, you didn't really actually tell me any. You didn't make me laugh. So then I'm gonna be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, I don't know so much about. You understand? So you'll be like,
Yeah.
I have a healthy sense of humor. I understand wit. You understand, and like the lighter side of conversation and situation. Like you'll start to play with so many words, right, to make that. But it was cool. It was very nice. Give me the five hard or soft skills that you pointed out there for
I
yourself.
actually have four. And
Okay,
I
good.
said communication or speaking skills,
Yeah.
critical thinking skills,
Good.
comprehension skills, and creative skills.
Oh, really good. Yeah, yeah. No, no, you did well. Well done. Nice. Clonny, you wanna go for it?
Thank you.
Very good. Yeah.
Good
How's it
evening.
going? Yeah.
I'm a bit late and um, haven't had the time to actually attend lectures and all, but
Yeah, it's
I'll
the first
just
time I'm seeing you. Yeah.
I'll just give it a try because
Good.
I'm
Yeah.
interested in becoming a radio DJ presenter.
That's cool.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, a couple of points that my fellow students have raised. I think I also have the same, or a few sentiments in that.
Mhm.
Um, I'll start by saying I'm an extrovert.
Mhm.
I I'm diligent. I'm hardworking.
Mhm.
I've got a standing out personality. I'm sure of that.
Mhm.
Um, I'm, I've got good communication skills. I love interacting with people. And well, the sense of humor part, I live it out. But I think I do have a sense of humor,
Everyone
and
does. Yeah.
I'm open to new ideas.
Mhm.
Um, I talk a lot when given a chance. Opinionated.
Do
I
you
love
make
challenge.
sense when you talk a lot? Or do
Yes,
you
I
talk
make
rubbish?
sense.
Okay,
Yeah, I
good.
make
You
perfect
must
sense.
say, and I make sense.
All
Right.
right, let me just add there, and I make sense because I wrote a bit of a mini speech, so yeah, so I'll
Okay.
just highlight that I make sense.
Mhm.
Let's
Good.
see. Okay. Okay, I happen to have an ear for listening to other people's opinion.
Good.
I'm also opinionated.
Mhm.
I set goals for myself um, in terms of a progress.
Mhm.
I think I can just end there, guys.
Okay. Do you notice that you and Offense kind of did the same thing there? Like, so a little bit more storytelling, get someone more, like they have more investment in there. Do you understand? Um, so just turn those things into turn part of what you are telling me into some background. Do you understand? Like, so you would add, for example, I'm expecting, I'm suspecting, right? The reason why Offense does not want, let's say, for example, to only be focused on one job is 10 to 1. You were brought up in a family that works really hard, that either has experienced a lot of like like hard times, you understand, and has had to make plans. In other words, like, you understand, right? I could be wrong. Like, what, how did your
Yeah,
parents,
you are right.
you know, do you understand? Like, it's something we adopt. It's the same thing, and that's why I relate to you, because my parents are like that. They rather worked. My parents in particular worked to the till they bled instead of took chances. So that kind of, because the thing is that they went bankrupt on two occasions, just because, no, well, not because of lack of their work, but because the businesses failed, um, just slowly deprecated, and we had no money. But the thing is that they didn't stop. Do you understand? They didn't like stop. They always tried to have a solution for something, and the thing is that is brought down by that you're emulate, like you are, like I say, sculpted by your upbringing, obviously, in the environment that you grow up in, either in a reverse effect, like, so for example, you might look at your parents and say, I don't want that ever to happen to me, so I will do the opposite of, quote unquote. But 10 to 1, it's something that bleeds down. Tell me about your skill set, Cloney.
All right, my skills are not something entirely different from what my fellow students said.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the first skill that I'll possess is to be innovative
Mm-hmm.
in in a specific show, since I'll be a presenter. Being innovative, being audible,
Okay.
um, well, and being creative. It's part of the skills you need to have.
Yeah.
And I should thinking out of the box. I mean, don't just think of things just
Yes.
next to your eyes. Just think beyond the wall and
Right.
for that maybe what is it that's behind that wall. I think I've got those skills.
Okay. Okay. Not I think I know, eh? Let's delete the word I think from your vocab like in
Okay.
general. Just in general. It'll be you'll see how things actually the small things make big differences. Good guys. I want to get into the next lesson, which is quite long, but it's super important. It is about interviewing. Okay, so let's get into interviews. I will not, like I say, lament on too much because under that we don't have a lot of time. Okay, so every station obviously has interview policies, guides in place, etc., etc. We don't really pay attention to it because I say that in the sense that like common like your common logic will tell you what you can and what you cannot do when you're interviewing a person or a brand or whatever it is. But certain things must be like we must be told that. For example, like if you interview like someone you want to criticize them, they have to be on the line to say their part. You understand? You can't just attack a political party like a McDonald's, a Foschini, or whatever it is, without them, because of an experience that you did actually have, or you have seen like happen, or you watched, or whatever it is. I don't know, but they have to be there to so that you do not go to the BCCSA, right? Because they will take you there and say that you have now tainted their product and you didn't give them. You chose not to put them on air to give their side of the story, right? So the thing is that, for example, like you are told that you are not allowed, that you're not allowed also interviewing to promote, like inadvertently, even, right? Someone's business or someone's, like even with artists, right? Like that, you'll get tons. You'll be flooded from obviously the PR, the PR, their PR representatives, the public obviously relations reps. They will flood you with everything that happens about that now artist that they, or these artists that they obviously represent. But the thing is that what they want to do is obviously like speak about the new album, new LP, the new track, like where they're going to be like in concert, like this new brand of clothing that they're selling. Like the thing is, you cannot go on air for the sake of that because it's free advertising. You can because it's your show at the end of the day. You will then go and reconstruct that interview or say it's not relevant to the show or to the audience at this point. Do you understand? um they don't take that offensively because they know the drill as well. Again, target market related must be passed by the program department. Again, like you must also use your common sense. Like you can't pass everything like you don't know what you're doing. After a while, like you must like say, okay, listen, like this is genuinely not a good interview to have. It's going to be super offensive. It's not going to be like a great shock value of like offensive where it's people are thrilled and you like I say broke a boundary there. It's just going to be played out inappropriate, for example, right? Again, at the end of the day, you pay, the station pays. Interview policies guide. XFM targets its product and messaging delivery as at its composite typical listener. Let's say it's now Joe, and XFM is now just this random station, right? Meet Joe. So Joe is young, energetic, and passionate about South Africa and the world in which he lives. Joe is a huge fan of the world of popular music, entertainment, and he is a media and tech. He's media and tech savvy and always on trend. Joe also understands his responsibility as a South African and global citizen. He lives boldly and these with these responsibilities. In other words, he's passionate about relationships, sex, friends, family, school, work, ultimately play as well. Joe knows what he wants and knows that he has to create his own future. He also loves XFM. It's his tribe. It's where you find your family, like the people that you get along with, that are like-minded. They don't speak about the same opinions. They have strong opinions, and I say buy-in to what this station like offers them in terms of knowledge, entertainment, infotainment, and so on. And like I say, education, as I said, right. So a group of people who talk to him, with him, and about him. Joe also uses XFM to be the first of his friends to be in the know on the latest relevant news and trends, etc. So he's got full. This is a P1 listener, right? So again, our composite. Why do we do the composite listener? Because in this particular, like I say, in this particular lesson, it's about interviews. All your content must be directed towards the composite listener, which here you're getting a nice summary of, right? So, for example, like if I want to come up with an interview or content, I would look at various aspects of, for example, play, work, school, family, friends, relationships. That sounds like pretty much everything, but I would have to delve further in understanding that Joe is perhaps maybe young. Well, no, it says that he's young. So the types of things that he talks about in relationships, sex, friends, family are different to another person who is older or is in a different demographic. I'm saying financially or whatever it may be, right? Different parts of their lives, etc. Right. So the composite will define always anything that you do, sell, talk about, create, whatever it is, produce for your show. Every good radio station should compose a composite listener, right? Because the thing is like, so when I worked for Ryan Seacrest, I keep saying this. I really underestimated the man because like he seemed so basic, right? And I was like, oh, like 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 this is not a vibe. Like I'm not learning anything as well. And again, I was one of his mass majority of 40, like it was 40, 42 producers in the world. The thing is, when I started listening to Ryan Seacrest, like listening to him, as opposed to just being his South African producer, man, this man, so even the first lesson that I learned from him is that he takes a picture, but the picture will change, right? Like a literal picture obviously blows it up of this person that literally that is the look, feel, touch, smell, whatever it is. It seems so basic, but the way that because he speaks to that poster in the studio, right? And the composite, like that's what in campus radio they told us, bring your favorite childhood toy and speak to the toy, because the thing is you have some kind of connection and bond. That's why you still have it in your 20s, and this was your favorite toy when you were 5. So when we're on overnight shows, like it would help us talk to a person, not at a person. And like I say, it wasn't that Ryan Seacrest revolutionized. I thought, what an interesting way to actually do it. Just put a picture of the person and you're talking directly to that person. Now you're using the individual, you're directing exactly at, you understand like how you will converse and change what you are saying, because the way you talk to your mom is not the way you talk to your sister. It's not the way you talk to your lover. It's not the way you talk to your boss, which means that automatically, I'm saying to you what would make sense, this person in front of you, you would talk to in a specific and obviously appropriate way. The famous talk show Larry King, love, please, you must, I know he's passed, but his audio book about how he came into and how he like he doesn't teach, he speaks about being a good communicator. It's one of the best audiobooks I've ever read. It was amazing. Sorry, not I read, listen to, I don't read. Anyway, so but when he says, yeah, hey, best interviews or conversations, if you've ever watched Larry King and any of the really great, I'm saying worldwide presenters that we've had, they get to the point immediately. No wishy-washy. No, they're not scared about kind of like walking on eggshells here and there. They don't attack the guest. They respect the guest, but within the context of what they are saying. So let's say this person is a pariah, is a criminal, whatever it is. Like, what do you want to say? Do you want to now bash them even more because they're criminal? Everyone doesn't like them as it is. I'm just saying to you. So what's the point of going on there and be like, oh, like you're a terrible, tell me how much of a terrible human being is, or we're going to expose you. You are a criminal. You are a murderer. That's not the point. You must come in there and be like, cool. So when you do murder someone, like you did now, did you like where's the euphoria that you experience? Because there is that. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it and wouldn't have done it in that like really like I don't know, gross, like gruesome manner that you did. Um, like say, so tell me something. Do you, I mean, like, do you have family? Uh, like, what is in terms of, because you want to know, I mean, like you're a murderer killer, like there has to be, let's play the good cop in this. Is there something that happened to you recently? Like, have you been diagnosed? Like, is there a mental instability that you've been confirmed of, or did you understand? You want to give them benefit of the doubt, but then attack them directly with good questions. Like, where? So, what did you do after you killed the person? Do you go, like, not being sarcastic? Did you go buy Burger King? Uh, go home and have a nice rest? Did you feel, was this, get to the questions, because the people only want to know the answers. I said to you, Oprah, which is again the Oprah phenomenon. I will rehash it one more time. Oprah asks the question you were going to ask like in 3 seconds after she already, like in 3 seconds time, she asked it 3 seconds before. She asked the question like that everybody was actually wanting to know the answer to. I know it almost sounds like Larry King. It's not. Oprah does it seamlessly. There we go. Seamlessly. And she's done it like nobody else could have ever emulated her. XFM shows do many interviews with, and there are active listeners, those ones that take part, and then there are the majority passive listeners. Many times these interviews are not properly researched, produced, and executed, and are usually very boring for the listener. Usually it's a case of guest A is available, and so why not just go? They have so many followers on Twitter. Let's get them to come in. Their followers will not go into my whole ordeal with social media, right? Like, can this person add value to your show? Will they add value to those followers? Do you understand? And to other people that don't follow, have no interest, but will learn something from. So let's use a woman. Now we're going to do an interview with, I don't know, like, let's say a nutritionist that specializes in like female, like not obviously female pregnancy, like men do not get pregnant, but like pregnancy and pregnancy issues, right? How does that mean all men must switch off? No, because you need to make sure that interview is interesting enough, because that man has a sister, a wife, a daughter, a friend, a mother. Do you understand? And this man will listen, even though he will never be pregnant ever in existence. Like, he will listen because it is captivating, and you have decided to focus on, obviously, like questions that are relevant to women specifically, but they are impactful to the rest of the people that are listening to. Anyway, then we do a Google search about guests A and get what we believe to be good questions in which our listeners will be interested. Then guest A comes in and we ask them these questions. This is at best leading to a mediocre time. Why is this mediocre? Because it's not a conversation. There's no depth. There's no perspective from your side. You should do enough. Yeah, always do more than what you're actually going to do on air. In other words, research and prep more than what you actually plan to do on air, so that you are allowed like a point of view that is valid, that is certified, that even if you have to, that you are questionable about it, it comes from somewhere. Do you understand? So if you're confused about something, you ask your guest, like, but I don't understand why you did this, or why this, your, whatever it is, your business decided to go this route. I know that, I get that was stated, was this and this, and I assume that these were effects, but I still don't know why it should make sense, because it doesn't, right? Like, so you must imagine something that you are totally like alienated from. I'm saying to you, you have no point of reference of knowledge to something. So think of, I don't know, like programming code, or like AI technology, or like law, or again, medicine. You must still be able to interview every single one of these people should they come in. It's the same thing. It's not about only about expert skills, right? But also, how do you speak to a 5-year-old, and how do you speak to an 85-year-old and have a good, I'm saying, like a rich and a relevant and a worthwhile conversation? If you can do that, you're a great presenter. Right. This is why the whole thing of, yes, you must link to a demographic, but in South Africa, it's taken far too literally. You have to be 25 to talk to a 25-year-old. That's bull. Like every single other country that leads in radio or that does radio understands that if you are a great presenter, you can talk to anybody, because in your own life, you are able to communicate adequately to the contextual situation and to the people that you're talking to, as long as you have a want to know more, and obviously you know enough about them to hold a conversation for just 15 minutes. That's all you need to do. When I say, when you're practicing this, you must go. It's the most uncomfortable thing for me. I hate it, but to become a better communicator, I would go to places. I'm saying, like to parties or clubs, or let's say networking, quote unquote, events, and I would go alone, right? So that I would be forced to talk to somebody or somebodies, and I would stay about an hour, because wasn't there for the recreation. I could care less, but I wanted to know that, let's say, for an hour to an hour and a half, whoever I like rolled across, I could hold a conversation with, and one that was like, one that I didn't change their lives, but I got to know them. I also got, and not by just saying, "Oh, tell me about yourself." How boring, please, you know. Um, Maybe I find out what they do. Then I would have some reverb questions, you know, that would come back, and I would keep them talking so that I would have something to talk about after whatever they spoke of. Listen to be able to communicate. Don't listen just so that you can have a point to communicate. That makes no sense. I'm saying, in other words, don't only listen so that you have a chance to just speak. That's not listening. Listening is saying, I listen so that I can take in what you say, and my reaction will be, it will be rich and it will have value, right? So that conversation can keep going. I'm going to continue. Okay, we should want to be excellent, not mediocre, to thrive for excellence. Our competition is not the other FM radio stations, but also YouTube, Instagram, everywhere else where a content creator is. But do not be intimidated by the 5-year-old that's creating content, because they're not professionals. You are the professional. So when you go on and create content, don't care about the other views. maybe it was very funny what they did, and they did it, and maybe these people are getting better at it, and they're finding their space as well. You don't know their backstory. You shouldn't care. You should focus on yourself and focus on the fact that you need to conquer as a media practitioner. In that context, you have to be better than everybody else, quote unquote. Okay. 6 phase approaches. Let's talk about each one. The quality test. So be selective of the guest. So you always have a specific person in mind. Get that person, or don't get a person at all. Get a different person for a different topic, right? Sometimes that person is not available. Like, for example, let's say you want to speak to the president, but only, like, let's say the obviously the person in the PR can speak for. You understand? Then get that person. That's fine. That's the closest to the next best thing, and that's not going to ruin the quality of, because you can still ask them questions that are direct questions to the president, and you would have to just reconstruct it to make it work. Anyway, ask the following questions. Are they a big star with a company like Universal Studios, or have a high target appeal? Can they tell great stories? Does one of the show players have high interest in the guest? And will this create great entertainment? So in other words, are you a fan of, right? Which is also a dangerous game to most play there, right? So are they a great interview? So you have to, so even if they're not a huge name, in other words, that's what I'm saying to you. You interview and you treat the interview, I'm saying, with the same respect you do the president to the person that you decided to speak on or with, that's working on the streets. Do you understand? Because because that person now, let's say that you're talking about vendors, or let's say something spectacular and different that they are doing, like, I know this sounds whatever it may be. Like, for example, we have a lot of people that were beggars on the street. Now, instead of outsurance people being there once and now and again to control traffic, we now have these guys controlling busy, obviously, traffic intersections and asking if there is a donate. But they're working, man. Do you understand? So they've come, they solved the solution, and I think that's pretty damn cool. Do you understand? It's not new, because we've seen many variants of this, but right now, because we are crippled by load shedding and its effect on our commute home. Thank you very much. Let's get these guys in. You understand what I'm saying to you? Let's have a Street Vox interview with them. Let's sit and take a video of them so we can see, we can share a little bit about the world around us that's happening, that's not just an everyday thing anymore, right? Be on top of stuff, right? I'm saying to you, you can ask them great questions. You understand? If you are interested and you see potential in what they have, in what they can offer, will they set up one of the players on the show in the same way? So, okay, let's go to phase 2, pre-production. Spend at least 60 minutes longer preparing at the interview than the actual length of the interview. So I'm going to make this one a roundup thing. Again, I'm not rushing it, but this is pre-production is about actually also part of probably the next phase or so. But you must go and develop questions first, right? You do your research. You go do I said to you, always go and find out if there are any other interviews about this. If it's a famous person, especially, right? You'll find them. Let's say if you can find them in the news, see what has, because their reactions and their comments will be there. Like, and try target questions that have not already, like, they don't have answers that everybody knows already, right? So that's how you would first develop that, by doing the research. Just goes my power. Just give me a second. Okay. Anyway, so so then what happens is that through that, you must enter pre-screening interview process, right? Which I don't know if that is here. Oh, there we go. Okay, the pre-interview, right? Super important one, because you must evaluate whether this person is going to be good on air first of all. So if they're boring, or they are monotone, or they speak only like kind of like fact after fact, or just stat after stat, like, you're going to have a big problem here. Like, you do not go forward with the guest. I'm saying to you, you say, like, this is great. I need to know whether there is someone else also, because you have to be honest with them. You're not hurting their feelings. Say you're not going to relay your message through properly. Like, you're not a good communicator. Sorry for you. No offense. You might be great at a job. Please, can you give me someone that works with you, or that's working with you on this project, or whatever it is, that can do the interview maybe with you, if you have to interview this particular person, because maybe they invented a product or whatever it may have been, right? So you would have to bring on, again, like, whatever, their PR agent, or let's say, again, someone that works in that has more character, whatever, right? What's the point of running the interview if it's not going to work? So this is a foreign concept for South African radio industries. I don't think it's that foreign. If you're a good producer, right, which you must throughout most of your career be a producer for yourself as a presenter, right, you will know that I'm going to run into trouble if I haven't spoken to this person, because they might have yes no answers. Yeah, that's true. No, I don't agree with that. And you'll say, why? And say, because it's just not right for me. That doesn't help me at all. That's a boring conversation. So you need to be able to create. So what I do is, then I say, okay, based on what we're having you on the station for, what I've got from research of my own, what you've sent in the press release, I've come up with these 5 base questions. I'm going to, as I go through them, I'm going to ask background on, so I can reformat or formulate these questions to better direct, I'm saying, an immediate and a more, obviously, rich, saying, meaningful response. So then that person also knows, like, these are the rules when you go on air. Please don't talk about that. Like I said, that's when you're getting. We say to the artist, for example, you may not blatantly promote your new, like I say, LP, whatever it may be, right? I will mention it at the end, or I'll mention it in the beginning, finished, And if I feel like I need to refer to it, because it has the actual question is about how different your format has changed from your previous narrative on songs and tracks and albums that made you famous. Like, isn't this is a danger zone for you when we look at it at a surface level? Why are you in this space? Do you understand? So they inadvertently can promote the release without saying anything. You also tell them, the moment you take control of this interview is the moment I cut it. Sorry, that should be smaller. Sorry, let me just put that. Just give me a second. All right, let me just make it on there. What's going on? I need to share that. Just give me a second. I'm just making this font a little smaller so you can actually see. I'm coming back. All right. Share. Okay. Here we go. It's 26. Okay, good. All right. Like I say, the pre-interview, super important. So ask the phase 2 questions. So that's what I'm saying to you, like reformat, reformulate, etc. Phase 4, develop a game plan. So now you might take sound bites. Maybe now you're going to have another, let's say, a caller ask questions to, whatever it may be, right? The idea is to, approach this in a way that you can tell most of the kind of like the basic information to contextualize the interview first. because you mustn't let them do it, because they're going to talk and talk and talk and talk. So you will sum up a nice hook and crumbs, should I say, to the interview, and then you'll get into it. Okay. Make sure that you have at least 3 great stories that you want to get the guest to tell. So again, that is not like stories about your life and whatever it is necessarily. It's about experiences. It's about how they can teach, or let's say like they struggle to. Here was a scandal on. There was a story about whatever it is, and then go for the open-ended questions, because you can decide which direction they go depending on like the interviewee's response. Phase 5, welcome the guest. Okay, so the interviewer must sit them down before the interview. So when they'll arrive at the station, you're going to be like, can I get you some coffee, water, or it'll already be set mostly for our ministers and stuff like that. And obviously our big, I'm saying famous guests, we will already have like snacks and food and wine, and I'm saying to you for afterwards, because you're going to now network and whatever it may be. This must be a little bit of an experience for these particular guests that come in, but you do offer at the very least water and coffee or tea, whatever it is, right? Have some merchandise also, so swag. So if you want to give them like whatever badge or a diary or whatever it is, pens or I don't know, like you can leave it on the table there. Your marketing department will take care of that. You won't have to organize it, but you do have to come and welcome them before they go on air. Then you will go to air. Then you will do the interview. Entertain first, sell second. So take a page from the late night talk shows, any one of them, anyone. Just go and watch one tonight. I'm saying go stream it, whatever it is. Maybe you do watch them or not. I'm saying the American ones, because they are, again, they are like kind of the kings of entertainment, blatant entertainment. Go watch any of them, and discuss what your guest is promoting during what your guest is promoting during the last part of that interview, right? Like I said, you may get to it later, right? But make sure that it serves you and your audience and your radio station first. Make it clear to publicists, handlers, and so on that the show will promote the guest's project, and that the goal is to have an entertaining and fun conversation. Like I said to you, so if it's an initiative, that's fine. If it's an NGO or an NPO or a whatever OO, like you're allowed to do that because that's charity work. That's fine. Again, if you are a partner, if the station is a partner in like this guest's project, you are allowed to, because it's paid for already. This will benefit the guest regardless of how famous they are. Surprise your guests. Do something that will pleasantly surprise them. In other words, ask them a fresh question. Fresh questions. You will notice that they, or the tone and the temperament of their voice will immediately change because they're interested now. You understand? Avoid questions that already provide the answer. Guests will not know how to answer such questions, right? That seems like, I'm sorry, execute, yeah. So avoid yes/no questions, as I said earlier. Ask sensitive questions deeper into the interview. So after you have established a relationship with a guest, whilst I'm saying to you, so you've done all the pre, you already have some kind of like rapport with them, but on air, like the listener does not know them from a bar of soap. You got to establish that relationship on there so that the listener takes the walk with you, right? Then when you can feel that they are a little bit more relaxed, right? Because a lot of, I don't know who's okay, losing people and gaining people. That's cool. Okay, so where am I here? Yeah. Okay, so the thing is that you will be able to tell whether the guest is uncomfortable. then you can try your best as you may, but the interview will only go so far. Cut it short and end it. Because if they're not ready to give suddenly on the day, then you're not ready to like reach out and touch them. Then let them tell you what the basics are and get them out of there. You understand? Because it's going to ruin your show. Use question clusters. So, like, be able to ask question to sub question. Do you understand? So that they can have a train of thought that is three-dimensional when they're working towards or through it. I'm saying the interview process. Please be wary of time. All of us will be guilty for the rest of our lives for going on too long or too short. Just pay attention. And also, again, like I say, the majority of your guests will try to, they will try and overtake that you. But you have to, it doesn't matter how rude it sounds, you have to stop them on air. If they decided to now just ramble on about, sorry, I need to stop you there. We're getting off point and I want to move to other questions. I want to get back on point here. You understand? Or you will say, or you will cut them off if they are like relentlessly, like just narrating whatever is on the about page and be like, okay, great. We get that. I want to close that up to make it a summary of, and the rest of the information they can go find on your landing page here and here and here. Right. So you got to be abrasive to guests that don't have a clue. The thing is, they're not trying to be rude. Most of them are actually just not aware that they're rambling on, right? Because you're not stopping them, one, but also they get that kind of like radio fright. So they just ramble, and they'll just tell you. Cut them off and say this is going longer than we have time for. So to get to the necessary questions, I have to cut you off there. I've got one more question to ask. Right. And they are not going to say, but why are you being so? No, this is my show. This is our station. You're the guest. You understand? XFM's primary target market is 16 to 24 years old. LSM, so SC, so we don't use LSMs anymore. We use SEMs. LSMs were how much you earned. SEM now is how much you are spending, right? So urban South Africans who are trendy, progressive, and aspirational, which means the following. All the interviews and topics should reflect a strategic objective that serves to increase the percentage of that particular LSM or now SEM. You'll see that when you look at the RAMs, right, the diaries that are released. Both the LSMs and the SEMs will be stated because the transition is still something that most stations are still stuck on LSMs, and the SEMs are what we are actually working with. Anyway, so with regard to social responsibility, they should be across the border topics with a slant towards the portfolios of HIV/AIDS, children's mandates, etc. Interviews related to entertainment, music, sport, current affairs must strictly reflect the interests of the target market, as I've said before. Okay. I need you to do so. You will, like going through phase 1 to 6. Does that make sense? Right. Okay. You cannot do, I'm saying now in class, what I'd like you to do is let's pick, just give me, like, let's do, whose line is it anyway? Give me any person that we can talk to. They can either be an expert professional or they can be a real person. I'm saying to you, like, actually give me a name, give me a name of someone. Oh, Cloney, it's just you. Go ahead. Give me someone that you could interview, that you'd like to interview.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
I think Thabo Mukwele of
Okay.
IFM.
Okay, cool. Great. Okay. You know enough about him, agree? Right? I'm guessing you listen to him.
Yes, agree.
Good. Okay. I'm gonna give you. Can I give you? Okay. Think of this. So this is when I said to you now. You might actually gravitate to someone that you are a fan of as well, which is cool. That's fine if it serves a purpose that people can learn from. Why would you want to talk to him? Remember, we can have him in studio for many different reasons. What what would be the umbrella reason or topic? I'm saying to you, like reason of talking to him. What would you want to talk to him about?
Since he's a great personality, I'd like to know what inspired him and what kept him going.
Mm. So basically, you want to bring him on more for motivation.
Motivation, yes, I wanted to tell you
Okay.
that.
Be careful about when you do interview someone. If you want them to tell their story, remember that is only entertainment factor, not infotainment factor. So if you wanted to just be like a little bit of a spotlight on his life, and his journey and whatever it is, right? That's cool, but you must make the right questions for it. If you want to use him as a way to share knowledge, you understand, an experience, you must use his life, like I say, and who he is as an exoskeleton for asking the bigger questions. You understand? Like that people will be like, yeah, no, I get that as well. I also, you know, so I think for now, pick the his story side. Um, take so what do you how many I want 5 questions, just 5 questions, right? But they got to land, hey? So don't, when you look at the question and you feel that you are going to get any of the things that I explained, yes, no, stuff that we know already, like, what I'm saying to you, then scrap the question and ask something else. You understand? Pick up from what the world already knows about him. Does that make sense? So pick up your conversation from that point. I'm saying that interview. Um, do you want how long do you want just to do it, and then you can give me some feedback? How long do
It's
you need?
fine. Do it. I can just try.
Do you want to just try it now?
Yes.
Okay, sure. You're welcome to. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Um, Tell me where are you from and when was your upbringing?
Stop.
I mean,
Okay.
where was your upbringing, rather?
So stop there. You should know that already. Do you understand? So when I say to you, when we have information that is filler information, stuff that he's also spoken about before. Like you can cut the crap, in other words, like the small talk, and bring that. You can put that in your introduction of him, should it be relevant. Your question that you might want to actually ask is, your upbringing was one of dot dot dot, but you sell yourself. We know you as this, like these are the things that you stand for, or you rally behind this type of movement or people, which is very, like, it's juxtapositioning to this upbringing. Is it because of how you were brought up that this was the effect of where you are right now as a person? Or was that a totally different journey? Does that make sense? Do you see how we're asking a question?
It does. It does.
Try another one. Try another one, and try apply more what I've told you, like I'm saying to the approach. Try another one.
Okay, I'm gonna try another one. I'm gonna
Go
try
ahead.
another one.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about your education or your academics? Like, where did you study? Where did you get the inspiration to become a radio presenter?
Okay, so we now have to reformat that there. You would know the information because it would be public, you understand? And once again, you would know his let's say if he's qualified in something, or if he's, you understand, maybe he's got a business in this, he's an expert professional, like he grew his skills, whatever it may have been, right? Um, uh, did what you, let's say, did you, like, you obviously had, you will find out and you'll know. So your tertiary education, and you've been known to continuously educate yourself further. Was this in for the main outcome or goal of being on air as a communicator, as a voice for the people, or are you more than just like a voice behind the mic? Do you understand? And then he would say, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I'm only touching base. I haven't prepared anything, but I love the insights that I'm getting from you, and
Yes, as long as
I'm just giving it a shot. I don't want to think about it, because the more you think about these things, you tend to lose a plot. So I'm just gonna be spontaneous, and
no. This is actually why you need to prep. But I'm saying to you, like, this is like, for example, let's say this is phase one now, where you're now drawing up some questions, and what you would then obviously refine, and like I say, do then obviously the pre-interview, refine again, that type of stuff. Go for. I want you to go for two more. So try another one.
another one would be, how long have you been a public figure, and motivational speaker to us, the youth, and what actually inspired you to motivate the young?
Okay, I want you to restructure that question into a conversational piece. Remember, Q and A is incorrect. Conversation back and forth is correct. So you need to set the scene. Uh, you've people don't know this about you, but you have been doing motivational talking or speaking or whatever it is, conferences, for much longer than you've been doing radio. Um, one of your biggest, why people go and watch you and come to your seminars or whatever it is because here's a couple of responses that I found from your even one of your earliest, most famous, talks, and you would speak about them and be like, okay, so so one, first of all, if you had to just give us like a short message right now for the world that we live in, and to South Africans, right? Currently, what would you be motivating? What do you think we need motivation in as South Africans? That's a better question, right? You understand, right?
Okay.
A follow-up question is, as a public figure that I love, I know that a lot of people have grown to love you because that dual respect, that two-way respect. Um, when does a day what does a difficult day look like for you? Like, in other words, when do you actually struggle? And like, what does
Okay.
one of those days look like? And who would be like? Because you want to humanize him. Do you understand? You
Yeah.
don't want to make him a hero. You want to make him a human. You understand? Um, Give me one more question.
One more would be, um, I've listened to your show, and it's very informative. What drives you to inform your listeners? And oh yeah, no, I can just end there, Chris.
Okay. Here's
Yeah.
here's another way. Here's the other way. I listen to your shows. It is, for me, it's an educational, like spectacle. I always learn. I like that. For myself, I like that. I especially like what I've learned from you. I actually learned maybe like 2 years ago. A show, it was somewhere there. And you had a conversation about, you understand? like this notion of selfishness within self-care. And you use this example about your mom and your relationship with her, and you know,
Yeah.
and what became an aha moment for me really changed part of my life through that conversation, that particular um, story that you said, an anecdote there. Um, then you said your follow up. What is your question? Sorry, I'm now veering off. What did you say initially?
Or initially I said, oh, I forgot. Sorry about that.
I also forgot when I went off my ramble. It was still a good ramble, but then I was trying to land it back to your question. Um, but oh yeah, yeah,
About motivation, like the
yeah,
show,
yeah,
the
yes.
show, motivational show, and all of that.
Right. Okay, yeah. So the thing is that, I mean, do you aim, like a good question to ask is, when you when you do these things unknowingly, you don't know actually, obviously, that you changed my life. You must have changed many people's lives in different ways, right? Um, like, does that become the only thing that drives you? You know? Um, do you have any people or stories that people that have come up to you and said, like, I've told you mine, like that stand out for you, that make you feel like, I love what I'm doing, you understand? And I'm so glad that I have the opportunity and the platform to be able to say these things, because this one person came to me and said, you understand? That's quite cool, because then he'll have a bunch of stories that he can pick from, you understand? And he'll start reminiscing and being nostalgic, and you'll get this really cool, like vulnerable side to him as well. Good. Did you learn?
Absolutely, I did. I
Like,
actually had one last one.
yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't know if you can restructure that for me.
Yes.
I was gonna ask, um, any, or rather, since I've been a fan so much and being inspired by your doings, are you, or rather, are you thinking of leaving the radio scene to go venture into something else different from radio?
So why do you want to link the part where you are a fan and his departure from the industry? Why is that important for you?
So I lost the plot there. No?
Okay. So all right. So this day and age in entertainment specifically, like, you cannot rely on only your craft. Finished, that's it. Um
Okay.
where else are you now going to build your brand? You understand? And so,
Yes.
so we had the earlier question about the 5-year plan, right? Like, what do you still want to achieve? Just like, if you like, you don't have to share everything, like, because we're not like, it's nice to have dreams, but what is your next best thing that you're going to do? That's cool. Do you understand? Is
Yeah,
that
I get you, Chris.
okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Was
Let
I
me,
that bad?
you know,
Was I that bad?
no. Again, you must understand, you need, if you haven't done something before, my analogies and whatever are always the same, because they're always the most effective. Well, you didn't know how to walk till you learned how to walk. Do you understand? You didn't know how to speak, like, until you learned how to speak. Does it make sense? You don't
Yes.
know how to do this because it's your first attempt, I'm saying, at radio, I'm saying to you, until you learn how to do it. Finished. So you mustn't take that approach. If you've been taught this before and you're still giving me like stuff that is not reflective of what you've been exposed to, then we have to be honest, you understand? But
Yes.
because you're, like I say, you're literally learning a new, like a language, or a sport, or a whatever it is, You can only attempt as much to as much as of it. With me.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Are there any other questions? Anything I can assist you with in terms of assignment or anything? You know, you
Yes,
can.
segment thingy, I missed one because of I had a commitment at work, so I couldn't
What
work
the F1?
work with the F1.
Did you not
So
do a supplementary?
I was thinking of submitting it, but then I haven't paid for the sub.
No, because
I don't
that's
know
happening Friday.
if they'll bill me on my statement if I submit it.
The thing is that you have to have an agreement with. You must,
But
but you're not going to pass, eh? If you don't do that one, because the thing is that means because the summative I think counts 60%, right? And then that means you have to get 50 out of 60, which let me just tell you what the percentage is. I think it's about 85. You just quickly get to the calculator. 50 divided by 60. Yeah, it's 83%, right? So you have to get 83%, I'm saying, for that one assignment just to pass. I don't say that it's impossible, obviously, right?
yeah,
But you are like you're gambling there. Does that make sense? Right.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah. So if you could also sub for the S1, I'm saying to you, and maybe get a really higher mark, like, but again, it's going to have to be 83 and higher to get the 50. You don't really want to put yourself through that. It's so I can't imagine it, but it being anything but exhausting. So I
I,
would,
I I'll try my best. I'll see what I can do. Should I have a problem, I'll contact
yeah, yeah, I would again. If you, they won't deny you the sub. If you explain to them, like, this is the situation, can I not, and then just get the yes or no. Does that make sense? Instead of leaving it, just
you.
to
It does.
find out. Yeah,
I'll have to try. I'll have to try. Nothing beats trying.
yeah, it's worth trying. It really is.
It's
And
worth a
then
try.
don't. I mean, if it's a no, then leave it, and really put everything into this one. You
Okay, no
understand?
problem.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that. Then you have a good night, and then we'll chat. All right.
All right, Chris. Good night, buddy.
Night. Cheers. Eh? Okay. Bye. Bye.